Level 1, Simon the Zealot. You are a Sicarius, a dagger man. You belong to a secret cell of Jewish nationalists who believe prayer is useless without a blade. Your life is spent tracking Roman officers through crowded markets. You are a professional assassin, your heart hardened by years of watching your people crushed under the Roman eagle. You are in the crowd, scouting this king to see if he's the military leader you've waited for. He speaks of loving enemies. You sneer. But then he looks directly at you, into the shadow where your dagger is hidden. He doesn't call the guards, he calls you. He tells you the real enemy isn't in Rome, it's in your own soul. The dagger feels heavy. You drop it in the dust. Your duty is the guard. You are the man who understands the cost of zeal. You spend 3 years learning that a heart can be changed, but a body can only be broken. You become the bridge to the radicals in every city you visit, Swanir, Persia. The local authorities fear your spiritual revolution. They sentence you to the death of a traitor. They hang you by your feet and use a long-handled wood saw to split your body in two from the groin upward. You die in agonizing silence, proving your zeal was finally for a kingdom that cannot be cut. Rank 2, Jude Thaddeus, the zealot's brother. You are a man of the soil, likely a relative of Jesus himself. You've lived a quiet, frustrated life in the shadow of the Roman occupation, wondering why the God of David has remained silent for 400 years. You see the heavens open at the Jordan. When Jesus calls you, it isn't a suggestion, it's an awakening. You realize the silence is over. Your duty is the inquirer. You are the one who dares to ask, Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us and not to the world? John 14:22. You are tasked with taking the message to the hard places, Armenia and Libya, Beirut. You are surrounded by a mob fueled by pagan priests. They don't want a debate. They rain arrows down upon you until you are pinned to a wooden post like a human target. You die with a prayer for the archers on your lips. Matthew, Levi the publican. You are a social pariah. You work for the Roman occupiers, extorting taxes from your own Jewish brothers to line your own pockets and Nero's treasury. You are legally unclean, banned from the temple, and spat upon in the streets. You are wealthy, but you are a ghost. You are sitting in your tax booth, counting the day's blood money. A shadow falls over your ledger. You expect to curse, but the teacher says, "Follow me." You realize that gold cannot buy the look of love in his eyes. You stand up, leave the coins for the Roman guards to fight over, and walk away from your life of treason. Your duty is the scribe. While the others are fishermen and laborers, you're literate. You are the record keeper. You sit in the back of the crowds, taking shorthand notes of the Sermon on the Mount, ensuring that the king's words are never lost to time. Ethiopia. You have traded your counting house for a mission field. While standing at the altar of a church, you are run through with a halberd, a massive axe spear, by the order of King Hyrtacus. You die at the foot of the cross you preached. Rank 4, James the Less, son of Alphaeus. You are the less, either younger or smaller than the other James. You've spent your life being overlooked. You are a man of the shadows, a quiet observer of the law. You are called from the crowd without fanfare. You don't need a spectacular miracle. You just need to be near the light. Your duty is the pillar of prayer. According to ancient texts, your knees became calloused like a camel's because you spent so much time interceding for the people. You are the quiet strength of the group, Jerusalem. The Sanhedrin is tired of your holy influence. They take you to the pinnacle of the temple, the same place where the devil once tempted Jesus. They throw you off. When the fall doesn't kill you, a mob beats you to death with a fuller's club, used for thickening cloth. 5. Thomas the Twin, Didymus. You are a realist. You believe in what you can touch and measure. You've seen 100 prophets fail. You love Jesus, but you are a man of facts. After the resurrection, You refuse to believe the ghost stories. 8 days later, the room turns cold. He appears. He offers his side. You reach out your hand and feel the wet, torn flesh of the spear wound. The wall of your logic collapses. My Lord and my God. Your duty is the builder. You travel further than any other apostle, all the way to the coast of India. Ancient texts say you were a carpenter and architect, building churches and palaces while winning souls. Mylapore, India. Brahmin priests, threatened by your power, trap you in a cave. They drive 4 spears through your chest. As the iron pierces your heart, you realize the facts of heaven are finally your reality. Philip the Pragmatist. You are a man of Bethsaida, a Greek-speaking Jew who lives by the ledger of common sense. You aren't a dreamer, you are a calculator. You believe that for every problem, there is a practical, earthly solution. Jesus finds you and says simply, "Follow me." Unlike the others, you don't hesitate, but you immediately try to rationalize him to your friend Nathaniel. You are the one who looks at a crowd of 5,000 hungry people and calculates exactly how many months' wages it would take to buy them bread. You want to see the mechanics of the kingdom. Your duty is the administrator. You handle the logistics and the outsiders. When the Greeks want to see Jesus, they come to you because you speak their language and understand their systems. You are the one who asks the blunt question, "Lord, show us the Father, and it is enough for us." Hierapolis, Phrygia. You have traveled deep into pagan territory, dismantling the logic of the local cults. The authorities, enraged by your influence, strip you and crucify you upside down from a tall pillar. Even as the blood rushes to your head, you continue to preach until your lungs fail, proving that the logic of the cross defies all human calculation. The inner circle, the Big Four. You are the first called. While your brother Peter was busy dominating the docks, you were a seeker, a disciple of John the Baptist. You've spent your life standing in the cold waters of the Jordan, waiting for a lamb that could actually take away the sins of the world. You are there when John points and says, "Behold." You follow Jesus into the house and stay the night. By morning, your life is over and your eternity has begun. You run to find your brother Peter, saying, "We have found him." You are the bridge that brings the rock to the master. Your duty is the scout. You are the man who finds the boy with the 5 loaves and 2 fish when everyone else sees only a hungry crowd. You don't need the spotlight. You are content to be the man who opens the door for others to meet the king. Patras, Greece. You are sentenced to the cross by the proconsul Aegeates. You request an X-shaped cross, the saltire, because you deem yourself unworthy to die on the same shape of timber as Jesus. They tie you to it rather than nail you to prolong your agony. You hang there for 2 full days, alive and conscious, using your final breaths to preach to the crowds who gathered to watch you die. Bartholomew, Nathanael. You are a scholar, a man of the Torah. You are sitting under a fig tree, meditating on the king to come. You are a cynic, scoffing at the idea of anything good coming from the ghetto of Nazareth. Jesus tells you he saw you under that tree. You realize you aren't the one looking for God. God is the one who found you. Your duty is the evangelist. You take the gospel to the dark lands of Armenia and Great India. You carry a copy of Matthew's gospel with you, translating the word for people who have never heard it. Armenia. The local king is terrified of your message. He orders you flayed alive. They use sharp knives to peel the skin from your entire body while you are conscious. You continue to preach to the king until your heart finally stops. You gave him your soul under the fig tree. Now you give him your very skin. James the Great, son of Zebedee. You are a son of thunder. You and your brother John are hot-headed, ambitious, and violent in your loyalty. You once asked Jesus to call down fire from heaven to incinerate a village of Samaritans who offended him. You are mending nets in the boat with your father. The call comes. You leave the family business in the middle of a shift. You trade your ambition for a seat at a different kind of table. Your duty is the vanguard. You are part of the inner circle. You are there for the transfiguration and the agony of Gethsemane. You are the bold leader of the early Jerusalem church. 44 Sah. Dabarade. King Herod Agrippa decides to strike the head of the church. You are beheaded by a sword. Historical text says your executioner was so moved by your bravery that he asked for forgiveness, converted on the spot, and was beheaded right next to you. Peter, the Rock. You are Simon Bar-Jonah, a rough, impulsive fisherman with a short fuse. You're the alpha of the docks, but your soul is as unstable as the Galilee waves. You fished all night and caught nothing. He tells you to launch into the deep. The catch is so massive it sinks your boat. You fall at his feet, terrified. Depart from me, for I am a sinful man. He renames you Cephas, the Rock. Your duty is the chief shepherd. You walk on water, you cut off an ear in the garden, and you deny him 3 times. But after the resurrection, you are the one who leads the 3,000 to Christ at Pentecost. Rome. You are sentenced to the cross. You tell the guards you aren't worthy to die like the master. They flip the timber. As the blood pools in your brain, you realize the rock is finally being set into the foundation of heaven. John, the Beloved. You are the youngest, a dreamer. You live in the shadow of your brother James, looking for a love that doesn't pass away. You lean your head against his chest. You feel the heartbeat of the universe. Your duty is the caretaker and the seer. You take Mary into your home. You survive being boiled in oil. You are the only one who stays at the foot of the cross. You are the anomaly. You don't die a violent death. You are exiled to Patmos, where you see the end of the world. You die of old age in Ephesus, whispering, "Little children, love one another." The tragedy. Judas Iscariot. You are the strategist, the only Southerner. You joined for the power, thinking Jesus would lead a political revolt. You see the power and want to manage it. Your duty is the treasurer. You steal from the bag. You decide to nudge him into a war by betraying him for 30 pieces of silver. The silver is poison. You find a tree. The branch snaps. You die in the field of blood, the man who was closer to God than anyone else, and still chose the dirt.